So I forgot I wanted to tell you the story about one of the campgrounds that I have planned to stay in. Now, first of all, I'm going to set the stage. It's in Cottage Grove. It's in the Willamette Valley in Oregon. It's surrounded by, it's like a reservoir or something, and it's surrounded by marshes and stuff like that. I found it in on Campendium, and it would have been my last stop in Oregon before I hit Washington the next day. And anyway, so now also I'm a 24-foot RV pulling a Jeep Wrangler. Anybody who knows about towing a vehicle, you can't back up if you're doing the flat tow. I don't know about the other kind of tows like on the dolly, but you can't back up. You can't go in reverse. You'll ruin your tow bar, and who knows what else can happen. But anyway, you can't do it. So I did not see anything wrong with going there. It's a little bit off the beaten trail, but maybe like 5 minutes from the interstate. So I felt pretty comfortable with it. And I passed by the entrance the first time when I went by. And not a lot of places to turn around. Then I saw like a circular driveway that I borrowed from somebody to turn myself around, and I went back and put my blinker on and did not look very closely. I only thought to myself, how cool, I got the campground to myself, as I'm turning into the entrance, and there was a gate. And there's a little slope, so it was a little bit of a 5% grade between the road and the gate. So I'm at this angle, and there's no place to turn around because they have like curbs along to break up the lane. So I thought about trying to move them, but they were really, really big, and they might have even been permanently in place. I tried my best to do a sharp turn, was not going to work. So I ended up stopping and started to work on, by the way, I did back up a little bit off that curb. It was going, but I didn't want to chance it too much, so I stopped as soon as I was straight again, because I knew I had to be straight in order to disconnect. So it's raining. It's not raining bad, but it's raining. The area is farm-ish, so there's homes. It's not like a neighborhood home, but there's homes. You know, there's a home across the street, and then, you know, maybe they had 5 acres and someone else had one next door, etc. And I could not get one of the bars off, and so I went inside the RV to get the phone number for AAA and get my phone, because I was going to call AAA and get some help, because there's no way I can't get out of that. I am totally stuck. There's no way I'm going to get out of that mess and without disconnecting. And between, you know, the strength in my arm, the stress of the situation, the rain, I just could not get that one bar detached. Anyhow, when I'm inside the rig looking for my wallet, I get on the door, you know, and I look out this window here, and there's a guy standing there, and then he says, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?" And at first I'm just registering it's a guy, right? Then I realize he was a cop, and I go, "No, I'm okay. Oh, yes, I need help." And I just, you know, ran out the door in 1 second. I said, "Yes, I need help." And I was thinking, you know, he can help me unhook it. And so we talked about that for a minute, and I told him, you know, what happened. He didn't know that I couldn't back up. And I said, the only thing, he says, so I'm saying I just need some help to get this unhooked so I can move everything and hook it back up. And I said, unless, now, you know, I work for 911, and I'm familiar with some of these gates and stuff that sometimes the cops have keys. I said, unless you just happen to have a key for that gate, and if you have a key for that gate, then I can go in, turn around, loop around, and come back out. And he says, I think I have a gate. So he ended up opening up the gate, and then I looped around and came back out and parked. And then I still had to get some stuff together. So he says, well, if that's all you need. And I said, yeah, that was it. And thank you. And he went on his merry way, and I'm there, right? Well, what I'd forgotten about is when he came, I had already disconnected a lot of stuff, and I didn't put like a locking ring back on. Gosh, I don't have the names in my head for this thing. So, you know, there's this thing like this, and then this latch. This bar goes through here, and then there's a little hole, and you put a locking thing. You put a little peg in there, and you lock it. Anyway, I didn't put those pegs back in to lock it. So when all I did was loop around that park and come back out, one loosened up, and I don't know how I managed to remember it, but I'm thinking I'm just going to pull out, right? I'm just going to get the everything back in order, and I'm just going to pull out. And something told me to check it one more time. I am telling you, if you're pulling something, check it all the time. And I looked over there, and I could see one of those pins had already started working its way out, right? So I'm trying to get it back in, and finally I had to get like I think I got like a dog can or something metal, and I beat it back in, and I was able to get it back in and fixed everything. But the point being is that would have been a disaster, a total disaster. After that happening, and I've already wasted like an hour and a half of my time, and it's, you know, it's getting dark. And then plus that happening with the pin coming out, starting to come out, if I had gone even another mile, that pin would have disconnected, I'm sure. And then, oh gosh, I can't even imagine. So the name of that park, and then I looked it up when I got home, called Pine Meadows Campground, and it actually says on the site that it's only open through September. So I was there in January. No, I was there January or February. I guess it would have been February 1st. And anyway, you know, so, you know, I guess the point in the story, be sure to check all your sources before you just buy something. And if you're towing anything, just do not pull in willy-nilly thinking oh wow, I got the campsite to myself. Like I did. Okay?